Welcome everyone to this afternoon Shotsukihoyo service for the month of July. And I think it's a pretty warm weather out that we probably will be pretty comfortable with a long Dharma message today to stay in the cool temple. I welcome Fujimoto sensei and Sharman also, who will be giving the Dharma talk for today as well as officiating today's service. We will begin with a meditation. Sensei will ring the bell to start and to end the meditation. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo.
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 Please all rise for the opening gatha metta on page 178 in the Purple Book, and remain standing for the three treasures on page 10 of the Purple Book. 178 for metta. Difficult is it to receive a human form. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth.
I take refuge in the Buddha. May we together with all sentient beings awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we together with all sentient beings enter the storehouse of Dharma, become guided with wisdom and ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we together with all sentient beings become units with true order, in harmony with all things.
The fearless, profound, and wondrous doctrine is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namo. The Shotsukihoyo service is held in observance of all those family members, relatives, and friends we have lost during the month in which it is observed. We will begin this morning with the reading of those Shotsukihoyo honorees for the month of July. During the reading, if those who would like, family and friends who would like to Oshoko, please come forward during the reading. Ichiro Inagawa, Suedo Ito, Tamayo Kai, Toshiko Kameoka, Kijitaro Kawase, Tamae Kikuchi, Yakutaro Koka, Yone Korehiro, Asako Matoba, Kichizo Morita, Akio Mukai, Sumiko Otamura, Matsukichi Otani, Shizue Shinizu, Yuki Shu, Tama Taniguchi, Hiroyuki Yamakawa, Fuji Oka, Jani Noriko Okamura, Leo Kikuchi, Yachiro Takahashi, Kikue Morita, Ikuko Akutagawa, Harold Hiroshi Okazaki, Kimie Paulson, Sui Yong Choi, George Hamamoto, Martha Yoneko Taniguchi, Yusen Shimizu, Yoshio Sugioka, Fumiko Yoshioka, Monsatsuku Wada, Roy Morita, Tamie Matsuda, Yukino Kameoka, Sam Karahara. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Sensei will now begin with some mujo for our sutra chanting today, and be followed with Amida Kyo on page 103, the first half. Page 24 for Sambujo, followed by 103, Amida Kyo chanting.
Today, on the occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of July, members and friends of the temple have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Samanta, 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 Samanta.
Shotsuki Hoyo
座敷市長白国脚法務者理馬領民が無名市長税所州長長や六時水和慶音五音年長五根五力七五大門八正道門行政等合同修上門税四に外出年仏年法年祖社理法上物意新長出税会合少々小医者が二部国土無三幕主社理法五部国土小無三幕同士業家教不実税小州長改税阿弥陀仏力量温泉流園芸調査社理法異部国土異風水道小法五十流法羅法水味妙法二行百千十学同時草音税音社開示年上年仏年法年祖死神社理法道国土長寿領税空毒所
Reverend Fujimoto will now deliver today's sermon message.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be back at Enmanji. In Alameda, this morning service, we had a visitor from the San Mateo Temple. So, I don't know, he's helping some relatives move, so he just happened to be in the area, came to the temple, and we chanted the Amida Kyo, and apparently they don't chant that at San Mateo. So he was mentioning that, and he was sitting with Sharman and myself, and he was surprised that there's a good pace to the Amida Kyo. And so Sharman was telling him that when I first came, when we met at Idaho, Oregon, I encouraged them to chant all the different chants that we have in our tradition, and so Sharman was telling them, we used to practice, the minister assistants to do the chanting, and the Amida Kyo would be fast. So she's telling him, I used to sweat. Because we'd be going so fast and you try to keep up with it all. And it was kind of funny because he was maybe a little bit panicked trying to keep up with everybody and trying to stay with the chant. But I was explaining to him, it's so nice to chant the Amida Kyo. Even if you have to catch your breath for a whole line, everyone else's voices continue on and they carry the chant, and then you jump back in, and it's not just your voice. You really sense all these different voices that you are just a part of. And so that is to me what makes the Amida Kyo all the more special. So it was kind of fun to talk to him and to remember that experience that Charmin was able to share with him. And I think it's appropriate, for Shotsuki when we come to very special, meaningful part of our Shin Buddhist tradition, and we see the Shotsuki families coming up to Oshoko and joining in to be a part of the temple, to be a part of the Sangha, and we recognize them, we recognize the people they have lost, and we support each other, and we take turns from month to month. 1 month it's our turn, 1 month it's another family's turn, and we support each other in this manner. And for me, it's very special to hear the names and to connect the faces and the names as they come up. Each of you come up to Oshoko, and as I come more often, I come to recognize, this family comes for this certain names, and it's very touching. So coming up soon is our Obon season, and all the more we become very reflective to think about the family members and the temple friends that we have lost through the years, and particularly this past year. And as we reflect upon them, our thoughts are maybe deep, but not necessarily sad. So as I was thinking about this in preparation, there's a lot to go on the month before the Obon service and festivities. You go through the people we have lost, the past services, and you collect all the names, and you're looking at the dates and the names and such. And not only of our own temples, but our neighboring temples and other services that I may have gone to and participated in. And I was reminded that one service, they list and they announced that so-and-so has passed away and entered the pyramid, right? So Reverend Fujimoto passed away on June 2nd, 2023, and has entered the pyramid, right? And when I was younger, I used to think, how could they write that? How do they know if he went to the pyramid or not? We don't know. They're just saying that and making it sound nice or something, How do we know someone made it to the pyramid or not? I was quite a bit younger. I was not a minister at that time, but it would make me wonder, why do they say something like that on the program, or to say it at a service or something like that? And similar reflection, I remember talking to some ministers, might be, the end of Obon Festival, and having a beer before they go home or something like that, and someone would say, I don't want to go to the pyramid. I want to go to hell because all my friends are going to be there. I won't know anybody if I go to the pyramid. And it's kind of like the running joke among Buddhists, among ministers, and you hear that kind of banter every once in a while to think about, where do we want to go when we pass away? So the pyramid is our goal. So I'll forget it. I'm going to hell anyway. All my friends are going to be there, kind of sense. And so there was a story that was shared, and this is about Reverend Hirata, who had served Buddhist Churches of America for a number of years, and he was talking about one very prominent member at his temple. They kind of grew up together since he was there for a long time. This member was there for a long time, very devout Butsu follower and supporter of the temple, and very generous with his donations and helping out at every event, coming to all the services that he could come to. But there would be good friends, very dear friends. Sensei, when I die, when I pass away, when you do my service, tell everyone I went to hell. Okay? Don't tell them I went to the pyramid. Tell everyone I went to hell. And so this is kind of their running joke, right? Their friendship, a mark of their friendship, you know? And so they would say this each time they would see each other, you know, once a year, maybe one season, come into this story again and again. And after a number of years, the time had come and the member passed away. So Sensei was thinking about this and recollecting the words that they shared and kind of like a promise of what to say at his funeral service. So he was thinking, what should I do? What should I say? And he's thinking, how should he approach the words to this particular man's member service? And so he was remembering a story about Genza, this Myokonin Genza, many stories every now and then. I like to tell stories about the Myokonin. They were not well educated, you know, just one of the peasants in the community, but they would have such a deep understanding of the Nembutsu teachings. And so this is how they became known, because of the actions that they took, things that they did. And so there's a story about Genza, and he was among a number of fellow Nembutsu practitioners, and their sensei looked out and said, who among you here today will be going to the Pure Land? And nobody was sure how to answer. They're kind of looking at each other and looking at sensei and hesitant, but not Genza. And he said, I'm going to go. And so, without any hesitation, his arm just shoots up there. So everyone was a little bit surprised, but they're wondering and looking at the reactions from the other people. And then the sensei continues, when you die, who among you here will be going to hell? And similar kind of question, right? So everyone's looking at each other and looking at sensei, but not Genza. So without any hesitation, he raises his hand, same kind of answer. So both questions, he's so enthusiastically, me, right? So on this Nembutsu path of Shin Buddhism, I think we hear kind of often that we are destined for hell, and we wear our onenju, and this is kind of a reminder that we have our blind passions, our bonno, greed, anger, and ignorance, right? And we keep them as long as we live. So it's kind of like guaranteed we're going to hell. Greed, anger, and ignorance, no matter how compassionate or wise we become or try to be, they're still there. And this is Shindan's experience, right? We hear when we come to Shindan's story, he studied on Mount Hiei, Tendai Monastery for 20 years, and he came to the realization that after 20 years of dedicated study, he's no closer to awakening, to enter the Pure Land, than when his first day he just started. Still, greed, anger, ignorance, still boiling up in his life, in his personality, in his mind. So he knew he's not getting any closer and getting frustrated with his study, and then he wanted to, let me seek something else. People have been talking about Honen Shonin and the Nembutsu teachings. Let me go check and see what they are saying exactly. So he moved on and came to his understanding of the Nembutsu teachings. So this was Shindan's understanding as well. And we come to the same kind of awareness when we come to our own, how do we understand the Nembutsu teachings? So guaranteed we're going to go to hell. We can't get rid of our onno, our blind passions, greed, anger, and ignorance. And yet, through the Nembutsu path that is provided to us, we are assured of birth in the Pure Land. So this is what we are told. We're guaranteed we're destined for the Pure Land. So how can this be? two seemingly opposite ends are provided as our guiding truths. Okay? Which one is it, one or the other? Tell me, Sensei, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to know? Right? So we have two opposites guiding us. And so there's a tension because they don't resolve this. There's a tension, right? So there's another Genza story that kind of points to this as well. And Genza, he was known as a firewood gatherer of firewood. So he would go up into the mountains with his ox and chop firewood and bundle it up and put it on his ox and bring it down to the village to sell this firewood. And so as part of his work, he would go up early in the morning, chop the wood, and he would make 6 bundles. And I'm envisioning 3 pretty even bundles so he could hang them onto the ox and kind of balance the load, right? 1 bundle, 2 bundles, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 bundles on each side. The ox is carrying his firewood for him to come back down the mountain into the village. Okay? So one day he went up with his ox to gather the firewood, and as he loaded up his ox, suddenly he came to this realization, kind of his own awakening of what the Namo Butsu teaching means. What does this awakening, how does it come to you? So he's looking at his ox, and he came to realize the firewood is the karma that we all have. The firewood is our blind passions, okay? And the ox is Amida Buddha. So Amida, the ox, helps Genza to carry this load of the blind passions. Right? So because we have the blind passions, Amida is there for us. Because Amida is there for us, we're able to carry on despite having these blind passions. So not we get rid of one or the other, but both of them simultaneously coexist. One cannot exist without the other. Okay? And so this is the realization that Genza came to. And so because of this, he started to see his ox as Amida. The ox was his teacher. And so every time that he went out, he would gasho to the ox. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. He is my teacher to awaken me to see this. Okay? And I think it's simplified, oversimplified for us to think which one is it, either or. The tension between the both is there, and it's okay to be have that tension, to have these seemingly opposite ends. Okay, they're both there. Okay, and this opens our vision, opens our perspective, opens our mind beyond what do I see, what do I think is right, to see a deeper, beyond our own vision, to the vision of Amida, to the vision of the infinite. Okay, to see not only my perspective, but the perspective of reality. And in that reality, these opposites can coexist. So I think this is the story of Genza in his understanding, and gradually we come to the same understanding that we're okay with this spectrum perspective, both ends. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for indeed a thought-provoking message for today. Please stand for closing kata, arigato, on page 249. Thank you very much for everyone's attendance today, and I'd like to give special thanks to Fujimoto for making the trip today for us, and the music by Dr. Kent, and the ringing of the kancho, and the onajin preparation by George Thao, and for the July Toban for the flowers and offerings for the Enmanji. Of course, the videography and editing by Mr. Ty. Thank you, Ty. So if everyone would please join us next door for cool tea and light refreshments. Let's all gather together for a brief refreshment period. Please join us.